Time for race 2 here at Sandown, and we've reversed the top 10 finishes from race 1 on the grid. Let's have a look now at the track, Stephen. 13 turns, 3.1 kilometres, one of the most historic tracks in the country.
Yeah, it is. It's been around for a long, long time, you know, and one of my favourite tracks, although it is a purpose-built race course, obviously on the outside of a horse track. Very similar to a street circuit, only 13 corners, but very, very exciting, and some fast and slow stuff to boot.
We'll run you through the grid. Jeff Emery and Tony Bates, the teammates from Greg Murphy Racing, on the front row of the grid. Tony Bates recently became a dad again. And David Wall starts from row number 2 in the Wilson Security Commodore with Tim Blanchard. Thompson from 5th, McLaughlin from 6th. Now, David Russell in 7th. The Team Jayco Falcon lost a wheel on the slowdown lap after race 1. The team's been fined $5,000 with $4,000 of that suspended to the end of the year. He thought he had a puncture, but as it turned out, he had a loose wheel.
Well, it obviously doesn't help if you've only got 3 wheels on it, but it's good to see them back out here to start this race, and I can't wait for this race. These reverse gridders are always a lot of fun.
Nick Cassidy from position 20, the young Kiwi, making his V8 debut. Daniel Gilson down the back. He missed race 1 after a crash in qualifying. So the Greg Murphy Racing boys bookend the field. We've got 2 at the front. Jeff Emery in the yellow AT Delco Commodore and Tony Bates in the orange Favour IT.com car. Great start from Jack Perkins. Remember, he's starting from position 10, but it's the teammates who argue over turn 1, and Tony Bates sweeps around the outside to take the lead, but he goes in the grass.
He's gone too deep in there. They both had good starts on the front row. Jack Perkins up. Oh, it's getting tight in here.
Russell takes to the grass, bang, straight in the wall. Percat fires in as well. Perkins is involved too, and Chaz Mostert. McLaughlin smashed. This is carnage.
Oh, this is terrible. This is a lot of the championship contenders here in this incident here. Jack Perkins there, Russell, Mostert, Percat, they're all there, but Thompson got through without a scratch on his car.
David Wall's car is severely damaged. The Wilson Security Commodore has been hit from all angles.
We're in trouble, mate.
And that mixes up the field. McLaughlin's new FG Falcon. This is the ex-Alex Davison car that was rebuilt since its crash on the Gold Coast last year, but sorry to say, it needs another rebuild. Here's the replay. Jack Perkins. Now, McLaughlin lunges, that's okay. Russell takes to the grass, but can't pull it up and smashes in a wall. And nowhere to go for Jack.
You could not see what was going on there. Jack was that close to McLaughlin. Just one of those things that, obviously, you know, we've had a lot of rain here at Sandown. They've cut the corner there, as you see here. Russell cuts the corner, a lot of mud, can't stop, on slick tyres. David Wall was his brakes in the end.
And Percat did the same, and I think he tapped Chaz Mostert on the way through, but was lucky to escape with no serious damage by the looks of things.
You know, that's not a move you want to do if you're David Russell.
This is Rodney Jane's car we're on board with. It all unfolds. Look at this. This is just disaster. But Rodney makes up 5 spots.
He did a good job keeping out right-hand front wheel there for Percat. We've seen these HRT cars have steering arm dramas in the past, so looks like Percat's got another one here.
Yeah, I thought he got away with it, but clearly he hasn't. There's damage to the right front. His championship, it started strongly in Adelaide, but it has gone sour here at Sandown. More to say. At Sandown, we're back to green flag racing conditions in race 2, round 6 of the Fujitsu V8 Supercar Series. Jeff Emery leads the way. The cool driving car with Tim Blanchard. We're in the gap. We're through to the lead as well, and Tony Bates is going to follow on through, as is Thompson, and just behind the Simpro car, there it is, that's the old Chaz Mostert car. Luke Yulden behind the wheel this weekend. He was excluded from qualifying, started from the back, worked his way through to 11th in race 1, and is now in the top 5.
Yeah, he's done a great job, as we see. Oh, Rodney Jane just getting squeezed onto the outside of the last corner for the run down the main straight here. These races always seem to bring out the best and worst in some drivers in these reverse grid races.
Rodney Jane ran off in qualifying and really missed out, but Andrew Thompson's not. He's muscled his way to the lead, and Bates has looped it from 3rd. The grass is wet. He's in the guardrail.
No chance of stopping there for Bates. Doesn't look bad from here, but I reckon he's going to have some front end. Oh, there you go. He's got some front end damage on that.
And a bit of side damage as well, I wouldn't mind betting. That's a shame. Jeff Emery now under fire from Luke Yulden, who, of course, he raced with Will Davison at the endurance races for FPR. But he's tucked in now. This car's had a bit of a birthday from 888 Race Engineering. It's an ex-Craig Lowndes Vodafone car that Fabian Coulthard also raced in Glenford's colours in 2008.
Oh, another move here. No, he thinks better. A big lock up behind him there.
The Russell boys getting into it. Drew Russell leading. his younger brother Aaron. This is Blanchard replay. Thompson through for the lead.
Yeah, big move there. Made sure it was up the inside far enough.
And Tony Bates, just watching the background, just trying to avoid Blanchard coming back on the track and got it wrong.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange spin there. I mean, he wasn't anywhere near Blanchard, so obviously he was watching Blanchard and not concentrating on his own car.
And it hits twice, front then rear, gives the Armco a big lick. But Thompson has got it back to the front. Here's the fight for 5th, Russell, 6th, Russell, 7th, not Russell, Morris.
There's a lot of Russells in this race,
It's confusing. David Russell, no relation. Drew Russell and Aaron Russell, brothers from Newcastle. There you go.
Paul Morris being very obvious he didn't finish race 1, so coming through here, the Sergeant's security car actually looking quite clean for Paul Morris. There's no damage on that, which is good to see.
Everybody else has got muddy windscreens from taking to the grass and the dirt and the muck on that first lap that was just chaos, and there was a bit of craziness going on back there, but it's all about really fighting back through. Morris is in the gap, he'll get it done.
Now, I wonder if Morris still has that squeegee in his car like he had at Queensland Raceway.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Well, he doesn't need it today, it's not too wet.
Rodney Jane there, trying to get past one of the Russell brothers.
Marcus Sukanovic just behind, and the update from race 1, he's been given a 25-point penalty for setting off that multi-car incident that took out Taz Douglas and also took out Paul Morris.
Yeah, just a shame that. I mean, it's always hard to take when you don't get to the first corner for the race. Rod Jane up the inside again. He's really having a crack here. Side by side. This is great racing from these guys.
Oh, this is tight. Now it narrows here.
And Sukanovic wanting to get in on the action as well.
Just behind Tom Tweedy in the third of the Matthew White run cars. He's teammates with both David Russell and Tim Blanchard from Matthew White's team. Former Formula 3 drivers. Done a good solid job. He's kept out of trouble this year, unlike his teammate David Russell, who he really set off that whole race 2 drama.
Yeah, he did, Aaron. It was a moron move. Pardon the pun. First lap, took out 5 or 6 cars, and not something you would expect from an experienced campaigner like David Russell. So
have a look at the whack at the door. That's some serious bodywork that those boys are going to have to repair before race 3. But Blanchard's not letting Thompson get too far away. This is the fight for 3rd. Jeff Emery having a really good run this weekend. Great to see. And Luke Gilden throwing everything at it in the Simpro Ford.
You can just see they're trying to get the power down. We're at lap 9. The tyres are starting to be going away on the rear of these cars now. Massive big power oversteer coming onto the pit straight there for Gilden. And, you know, he looks like he has got pace though, so I'm sure that he's going to be able to make up a couple more spots before the end of this race.
Jeff Emery, the AC Delco car. This is one of 4 cars from Greg Murphy Racing. He's 21st in the championship, has had a really, really tough year. And Luke Gilden, apart from the endurance races with FPR, hasn't done any racing, so he's very much out of the saddle and doing well. Look at Tweedy.
This is tight.
Muscling Rodney Jane at turn 4, and young Cam Waters is going with him as well. Having a good solid run, of course. He had that run at Bathurst where he was on a hiding to nothing. This is a much easier scenario with less pressure.
Oh, look at the horsepower of Rod Jane's car here up the back straight. I was just seeing in the back of this group too, you've got Chaz Mostert and Jack Perkins coming up onto these guys after that first lap drama. So this group is going to get very interesting as we come up the inside.
Look, Waters in the gap. Shannon's Link Commodore is through. And remember, in this race, Steve, it's half points. So in race 1, there was 120 points for the win. In race 2, it's 60. And then race 3's grid is the combined points. So while it might be deemed bad for Mostert and Perkins, and it's not good, it's not entirely bad because they will still not lose the amount of points that they would otherwise lose in races 1 or 3.
Yeah, that's right. You've got Andrew Thompson out in the front though, but you know, if these guys can just stay where they are, maybe make up another spot or 2, they're still going to have a pretty good starting position for the final race, which is obviously full points as well. Nick
Cassidy, the Fuchs Commodore, making a move there and slipping on by, making his debut. He's only had half a day of testing at Winton. He's done a lot of open wheeler racing in his native New Zealand. He's only a young guy, but look at Mostert here, really menacing Tom Tweedy, trying to make up some extra ground.
Yeah, and you can see the damage on some of these cars. Rodney Jane here up the inside of Sukanovic here. Good move there, but
not that bit.
Goes too deep under brake. You can see him lock the right front. Oh, it's just messy, isn't it?
Another angle, and
he was lucky to get away with this. This is what David Russell did at the start of the race and couldn't pull it up. So you can see him here on the brakes, trying to pull it up before he gets back on the track. Luckily, didn't take anybody out in the process.
Tom Tweedy Did he move aside or did he?
I think
Make
he
a
made that
mistake.
very easy for Mostert.
Mostert muscled his way on through.
Yeah. A lot of these cars resemble a four-wheel drive car, don't they? It looks like they have been forward driving, which half of them have.
Plenty of bush bashing today at Sandown as Mostert continues the fight. He's driving the car that Mark Winterbottom drove in last year's championship and for the first half of this year. Cameron Waters, the 17-year-old Formula 4 champ. 77 passes 777. There's something in the numbers.
Absolutely. He's doing a great job, Cameron. I mean, he didn't have the best debut at Bathurst, as we all know. You know, very, very hard for a young guy to get in and do it. Glad to see him out here doing an awesome job here in the development series at Sandown.
He's working his way up through the order. The Formula 4 champs in the top 10. More from race 2 at Sandown when we come back. The fight for third place continues here at Sandown. Jeff Emery has it. Luke Youlden would like it, but Andrew Thompson, the Monster Commodore, is out in front. He's controlling this race, which has only got a few laps left to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff Emery's doing a great job here, keeping Luke Youlden at bay, having an awesome run. We did discuss earlier he hasn't had the best year. It's really good to see him have a good run here in the reverse grid race and really staying with these top-level drivers in this category.
Tim Blanchard running second in the Jayco Ford, and I've got to say, it's probably been, apart from the first round in Adelaide, a season of disappointment. He hasn't quite been able to run with David Russell, who's outperformed him most of the season. His teammate hasn't been the season that he's been looking for, but he's been still clocking up the points. Mostert's trying to get a spot on Cassidy. Oh, he just got it sideways and just tagged Mostert. Douglas is around again. What treacherous luck for he. And Perkins is stuck as well.
It hasn't been the best of races for these guys, especially in this area here. Mostert, you can see, got up the inside. Looks like they locked wheels or locked wheel nuts. Mostert got flicked up into the air and got turned around again. So
now just behind, that's David Russell. He's had a drive-through penalty that he's taken mid-race for setting off that whole lap 1 crash. And we're hearing too that Nick Percat, although he's retired from the race, he's already been given a 25-point penalty. Usually they wait till the end of the race for that.
yeah, that's unusual, you know. Obviously, you can get to the end of the race. If you don't agree with the penalty, you can state your case.
Well, they can't penalise him mid-race because the car's not going to take a drive-through penalty. It's stopped in the pit. So
yeah, absolutely.
But it's just unique that it's applied before even the checkered flag's fallen.
And we've got Jeff Emery.
He was third, turn 4's caught another one out.
That's a shame. That's a shame. He was having a great run.
He will still at least rejoin P5. Russell behind, Zukanovic, Cameron Waters. Let's have a look again. Oh, now this was the whole Cassidy and Mostert thing. The young Kiwi takes plenty of curb there, more curb there. Rodney Jane's been off the road. Cassidy on the curb, and he's just tagged him on the way through.
Yeah, you can just see it's hit wheel to wheel, and both wheels have jumped over each other, not dissimilar to an open wheeler, and spun Mostert around. Jack Perkins involved again.
Brett Stewart pieces his way through, and this is Emery all by himself, runs it a little wide, and once you're over that curb, you're a goner.
Yeah, all that grass is wet, the curb's wet. That's exactly what triggered the Mostert incident just before as well.
Andrew Thompson with a lap and a half to go on the run down the back straight here at Sandown. That's a great shot too. The way that the road rises and you come over the hill here and throw it off the top of the S's.
You can't actually see this fast left-hand corner here at the end of the back straight until you get to the top of the hill.
Blanchard's managed to hang tough. Remember, in the Fujitsu series, they're allowed 8 tyres, so 2 sets for qualifying in the 3 races, and all the teams have different ways of running their tyre strategies. They might save their best tyres up for race 3, but in the case of some guys, if they've got a good grid position for race 2, they'll use them in this one and try to maximise the race result.
Yeah, I would expect people like Jeff Emery would have put their good tyres on starting from the front of the grid, and also people like Jack Perkins who are starting back in the field, saving some tyres for the last race because obviously it's worth double points.
Thompson on the way home. 1 more lap to go for the Monster Commodore. He has been the man who's dominated this championship. He's won the last 4 rounds in a row. And as we mentioned in the opener, could really break some records this year. But Morris is closing in here on Luke Youlden.
He is. I've been watching Morris in the background. He's been slowly edging his way forward from that first lap drama that they had.
Well, remember, he started from 22nd place. Pretty stunning to get to 4th.
Absolutely. He's done a great job here. Looks like the car is also holding onto its tyres a lot better than Luke Youlden's car. Luke, you can see earlier on in the piece, around lap 9, he was sliding the car, wheel spinning it off. But Thompson here, fully under control, throws it into Dandenong Road. A little bit of lap traffic there for Blanchard to negotiate. Morris still hard on the back of Youlden. Youlden rocks up, goes wide. Morris straight into 3rd place. What a good drive from Paul.
Yeah, he's done a great job, obviously helped by that first lap drama, but he's picked them off one by one. But Andrew Thompson, the championship leader, puts it down. Another race win for Triple Eight Race Engineering. For Thompson and his engineer John Russell, they've done a stunning job again and picked their way through. Morris grabs 3rd, Luke Youlden is 4th, and that sets up an intriguing 3rd and final race. Drew Russell last lap, bunkered.
That doesn't look good, and Drew and his brother were running nose to tail there.
I was just thinking that. I'm a bit concerned. Tom Tweedy's got plenty of damage, but will make it to the line and run home. He's 9th, Robert Cregan is 10th, and Jack Perkins will finish 11th. The combined points will give him pole for race 3.
Yeah, that's a good effort from Jack to come back from all those dramas he had in that race. Pole for the last race, but Andrew Thompson started in the middle of all that. No scratches on his car, perfect race for him. He's looking good for the weekend.
Nick Cassidy 13th, Taz Douglas from the back of the grid to 14th, and Chaz Mostert 15th. Aaron McGill rounds out the top 20. We've set up an exciting finish to round 6 of the series at Sandown. More ahead, race 3 after the break.